Okay, let's get it done. Factor crap, loot, items, and mounts. Now, whenever you're talking loot, this is whenever I get serious. This is whenever shit get real. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to get all of these right. I just want to let you guys know that's what's going to happen.
In this video, we'll go over 20 true or false statements based around Warcraft loot and gear. There'll be 3 stages of difficulty. The first 5 questions will be easy, the next 10 questions will be of medium difficulty, and the last 5 will be hard. Then there'll be a grading scale at the end of the video to see how well you did.
Okay.
Now, let's get started. The Proto-Drake, which drops from Scotty the Ruthless in the Wrath of the Lich King dungeon, Utgard Pinnacle, is blue in color.
It also only drops on Heroic.
Fact. Scotty drops the blue Proto-Drake, of the same model as the Drake which helps him out in his fight, and has about a 1% chance to drop on Heroic mode only.
There it is.
It's also one of the few mounts that drops from a dungeon boss in the game. Tabards, which grant reputation while worn, did not exist in the game until Wrath of the Lich King.
True.
Fact. The very first rep tabards were added to the game with Wrath of the Lich King, which allowed you to put on a tabard for a specific faction and then just run dungeons in order to get reputation for that faction. The name of the mount you can obtain from killing the Lich King is called Invisible.
That's because whenever you see it, you turn 360 degrees around and walk away.
Crap. It's actually known as Invincible, but is commonly memed in the WoW community for being invisible because the two words sound similar. This item can only be obtained by 1 player per server and was needed to open the gates of Ahn'Qiraj. This item was known as the Scepter of the Golden Sands.
That's double crap because you can obtain it with multiple people.
Crap. It was actually known as the Scepter of the Shifting Sands.
Multiple people can get it.
The Phoenix Mount, Ashes of Alar, can simply be obtained by killing the Phoenix boss in Tempest Keep, Alar.
Nope. That's a nope.
Crap. The mount drops from Kalthas, the last boss in Tempest Keep. Killing the Phoenix boss, or the first boss in the instance, does not have a chance at dropping the Phoenix Mount, Ashes of Alar, despite the boss looking like the Phoenix Mount. And now we'll move on to the more medium-level difficulty questions.
Okay.
First up, there exists a potion in the game called Zanzil's Slow Poison, which has an effect to instantly kill your player 1 week after using it.
Well, it doesn't instantly kill, it does damage. It does a large amount of damage, which effectively instantly kills. So, you know, I don't know if that's like really a good...
Fact. Drinking the potion will give you a 7-day debuff, which will inflict 50 million damage to your character once it expires. The vendor Harris Pilton is known for selling a gigantic bag. This bag is currently the largest bag available in the game.
It was in Burning Crusade, but it's not anymore. It was a 22-slot bag, I believe. It's not anymore.
Crap. While the vendor does sell a bag called the Gigantic Bag, it's only a 22-slot bag, which is actually pretty small by today's standards.
Sure is.
As you can craft a 30-slot bag pretty cheaply. In addition to being one of the few usable mounts at level 1, the Heirloom Motorcycle mount also has the unique distinction where you cannot be dismounted from a daze while riding it.
Very true.
Fact. As of making this video, the Heirloom Trike is the only mount which has an innate ability to not dismount you from a daze. Because you're technically a passenger. But who knows if this will go away once they release mount equipment.
Yeah, you're technically a
passenger. It's also unique in being one of the few mounts which doesn't auto-change its riding speed, so it only ever goes at an increased 60% movement speed and never goes up to 100%.
If it didn't, it'd be OP.
That's because you don't need riding skill in order to use it, and can use it from level 1. There once existed one mount in the game that was so rare, only one person ever owned it.
That's happened twice, actually, so that's actually not true. It's an incorrect question. There have been multiple times where only as a mount has existed and only one person had access
to it. The fluorescent green Mechanostrider was accidentally given to a player in 2006 by a GM trying to give him back.
They also gave another kid a Ashes of Alar mount and called it Peep's Whistle because he had like cancer or something. It was a Make-A-Wish Foundation. So you count this one and also that one too. So it'd be actually 2 times, technically.
A a different mount he accidentally deleted. The player was allowed to keep this mount for years until his account got banned and the mount was taken away. The mount obtained from obtaining 100 mounts is the red or blue Dragonhawk, depending on your faction.
That's a big true. My friend Infamous Link got the server first for that mount. I remember it was Wrath of the Lich King. Everybody was standing around them. People were so fucking excited to see it.
You get mounts for obtaining lots of mounts, and one of the easier milestones is to get the red or blue Dragonhawk. In Vanilla WoW, some raid bosses could drop gear or equipment that was quite literally useless for the raid team.
That's actually true.
And had to be either vendored or disenchanted.
Because the shaman gear could drop if you were in Alliance raid. And so would it be effectively useless.
Fact, with shamans being a horde-only class and paladins being an alliance-only class, if your raid team got exclusive gear for either of those classes, and you were of the opposite faction, no one could actually use it.
And also,
since there was no such thing as
cross-faction
raiding, or there's never been such a thing,
I never thought of that.
Both factions would equally get useless pieces of equipment on the regular, so it was usually just sold or disenchanted. The first ever mount added to the Blizzard store was this mount, the Celestial Steed.
True. True.
Fact, the first ever store mount was the Celestial Steed, more commonly known as the Sparkle Pony, and there was lots of contention over this addition, as it actually gave a lot of in-game advantages, since the mount would be mailed to every single new alt character you made, meaning you didn't have to spend gold for your first mount, scaled with your riding skill, and could even fly once you hit Outlands and Northrend. No other mounts in the game could do that when it was released, before all of those features became pretty much standard later on in WoW's history. Nowadays, store mounts are basically just cosmetics and give no in-game advantages. The Penny Pouch, the smallest bag in the game, only has 3 inventory slots.
I don't know if that's true or not. I think it only has like 2, actually. I'm pretty sure it has 2.
Crap. The Penny Pouch only has 1 inventory slot, and is obtained during the Hollow-Zen holiday event, as almost
So I did technically get that one right, because this is a true-false distinction. So, saying that it does not have 3 is false. Part of this, no, listen. So this is a true-false thing. Knowing something isn't right is technically a correct answer, even if you don't know what the right answer is. Okay? Get mad all you want, but I haven't gotten a single one wrong.
Trash item since it's basically useless. Quivers and ammo pouches used to increase your ranged attack speed while they were equipped. This ranged attack speed increase also affected wands, which were considered ranged weapons.
I don't even know if that's true or not. I have no idea. I'm gonna say that's crap, but they couldn't even equip wands, so why would that even matter?
Crap.
Yeah.
Quiver and ammo pouches only increase the range attack speeds of guns, bows, and crossbows.
Yeah.
The on-use effect of the Fangs of the Father legendary daggers was to grant the rogue a slow fall effect.
True. That's a true.
Fact.
Easy.
The class, which takes reduced fall damage,
that quest line was
got a
fucking
slow
amazing.
fall effect
I love
put on
that
their
quest
legendary
line.
weapon, which allowed them to sprout dragon-like wings. And now we'll move on to the last 5 harder questions.
Okay.
The raid tier armor set, called Dreadnought's Battle Gear, was a tier set designed specifically for combat rogues.
Of course it was. Of course, tanking combat roads in Naxxramas. It's obviously tier 3 warrior gear from Naxxramas.
Crap. It was actually designed for warriors, as Blizzard doesn't make raid tier armor for specific specs.
Obviously.
They only do whole classes, or used to anyway.
That was an easy one.
Drinking a Noggin Fogger elixir has a chance to produce a random effect when you drink it. Now, here is the fact or crap statement. The following 3 effects are possible outcomes when drinking the Noggin Fogger elixir. Your character will transform into a skeleton, your character will breathe fire, or your character will gain the slow fall effect.
Like, I don't think you can breathe fire. I think that's Dragon Breath Chili. Yeah.
Crap. Your character does have a chance to have one of the 3 random effects, except one of the random effects is not to breathe fire.
Yeah, it's Dragon Breath Chili.
It is instead for your character to turn tiny. So, the 3 random effects are skeleton, tiny character, or the slow fall effect. The legendary item Thoridal, the Stars of Fury, has a special effect.
I thought these were
where you
supposed to
didn't
be the
need
hard
ammo
questions.
to
That's
use the
fucking
bow
easy.
Because
That's
it created
that's
its
a
own
true.
magical arrows.
That's a true. Yeah, that's a fucking true.
Fact. This legendary bow was the only weapon in the game which didn't require ammo before ammo was removed in Cataclysm. Although its magical arrows didn't really give it a huge bonus. It was more of a legendary item with a pretty neat convenience instead.
That's basically
The
right.
only item included in the backpack of all brand new level 1 characters is the Hearthstone.
I mean, that seems to be true, yeah. I mean, like, well, wait a minute. Like, the only item including the backpack...
Fact. All
Yeah.
brand new players only have
There
the
you go.
Hearthstone in their bags. They used to also
There you
have
go.
food and drinks in their bags, but I think those were removed from the starting characters' bags in either Mist of Pandaria or Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah, nowadays they don't
Gem
have
slots used to have a color associated to them in order
Yeah.
to obtain a bonus.
that. True.
Some gems could count as multiple colors. Now, here is the
Yes.
question. Green gems used to provide bonuses for both red and blue slots.
Wrong. Green was yellow and blue, I think.
Crap. Green
Yep.
gems provided bonuses for yellow and blue slots. The gems which provided multiple colors had colors which were a combination of red, blue, and yellow main color slots. So, mixing yellow and blue creates the color green.
I
in real
never-
life.
I never
so
understood
a
that.
green gem could be used as either a
I don't know how... I really don't know how green happens. I've never understood green. Like, I get orange. Orange makes sense. Like, purple makes sense. Kind of. But, like, green? That shit makes me want to believe in God. That's how much it doesn't make sense to me.
yellow or blue gem slot in order to fulfill that pieces of equipment sockets bonus, whereas purple gems were used for red and blue slots. Alright, and that's the end of the quiz. I'll have a grading scale on screen to see how well you did. If you managed to get all 5 hard questions correct, go ahead and give yourself 1 bonus point. So, if you got 18 or more questions correct, you are
You know
a
what I
elite
got?
expert. Or if you got 11 or
21.
less, then you are not.
I got
Now,
21,
a big part
boys.
of the reason I make these videos is to
21.
watch WoW streamers play them on their streams. So if you're one of those people watching this video, go ahead and tell your chat to subscribe to this channel, as that's probably the best way to support these videos to make sure more of them get made.
Smart guy. Smart guy. All right, I'll link his chat. I'll link his chat. What a smart guy. There you go. Give him a fucking sub right there. Okay, please do that because we need to keep this content coming, okay? Like, see, yeah, now he's learned and he's playing into the meta. That's a very, very smart guy. Listen, all these questions were fucking easy. I think the fact that I got every single one of these right without even any sort of a question in my mind about it being true is a pretty good way to tell where my mindset and where my priorities lie. I don't care about the lore of the game. I don't care about the history of the game. I don't care about the players of the game. I care about the fucking loot. So whenever you get down to the items, whenever you get down to the fucking stuff, I care about that. And I'm gonna get every single fucking one right. Okay? I go in there. I've got a list of items in my notepad document. I don't have a list of players in a raid. I don't have a list of friends. I got a list of loot. All right? And that's just the way it goes. Dreadnought's Battle Gear, sub him. You know what? I'll sub him on my alternate channel, okay? Actually, I need to do that because there's no way I can fucking spell his name. So this is going to be the only way I'm going to be able to get back to the channel. Grading A for Asmongold. Look at that, dude. He probably fails and tries to tell us why he was basically right. Wrong, you fucking idiot piece of shit. Suck my dick. Okay, where's the rest of these? Actually, has Mouse Lich King because it hasn't dropped from me yet. Yeah, well, then maybe you fucking should play the game a little bit more. Imagine not having Invincible in 2019. Oh, wait, actually, imagine playing Retail WoW in 2019. Well, I guess actually not a lot of people can get into the beta. Yeah, that was so easy, dude. Like, 100 fucking %. Wait, is this another one, dude? Here before Baldmangold makes content out of this. Baldmangold cheats. Streamers in plural. Everybody's talking about me, dude. Can you believe that? Can you get me into the beta? Yeah, dude. No, actually, I can't get you into the beta. Okay, I can't even joke around with that. The servers are still down, as you guys can see. So we're gonna have a little bit more time. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Streamers, exactly. Yeah. So we're gonna have to keep waiting for this. What are the other videos that we can take a look at and watch here? Those were obviously really fucking easy. Okay, let's just be honest. Those were a complete fucking joke. Read the first comment of that video. Number 19 is wrong. Pandaren still spawn with food in their bags. They have small, 5 small sugarcane stalks around their healthstone. Well, sugarcane isn't food, okay? Because whenever I told my mom I wanted to eat sugar for breakfast or for dinner, she said that's not food. So, you know, I don't think that's even true at all. So, we'll go ahead and we'll just ignore that. Okay, wait, just a second. Let me, oh, Mr. Bad Apple with the 20 gift to community subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, man. I fucking appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, just 1 second. Let me go ahead and look at, let's see. Which one should I look at? We can look at the Dungeon Set 2 gear. This is always really interesting. This gear is going to be added later on in the game. Let me make sure that I'm not missing any more of these. 10 changes that were made after Vanilla WoW that made WoW better. I should watch this video just to trigger you guys, because I know people are going to get mad about it, right? Because they're like, oh no, that's not true. Everything about Vanilla WoW is perfect and nothing needed ever to change. But it is kind of weird. Here's one thing that I think about, is that everything in Vanilla WoW just randomly came together. And it was like perfect. And I genuinely think that it was probably an accident. Like, because it was so genius. Like, the entire game was so fucking genius that I can't believe that anyone except for Jesus could come up with this game, right? And like all of the different ways. Like, I don't know how it could be so perfect. Does that make sense? Miss Pandaria is what ruined WoW. My dad said, it seems like whenever the pandas came out, things started to go downhill. That's specifically what he told me. So yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, let's go ahead and I'll read this. Let me read all the donations real quick. Just a second. My name is spoke by Coke or Pepsi. Were you born as a... Oh, I can't read that word, man. Like, I've got to... Oh, man. I think I have to... What do you call it? I have to, like, ban you or something for that, because I'll get in trouble for having that word there. First, the epic raid on Scarlet Armory would have the second raid must go on. Okay. I'm your best subscriber, donated 500 bits. I was going to have a question that's not been raised in a while. How's the snack box going to be set up for Classic World of Warcraft? I'm going to basically throw everything away and then completely start new, okay? Because that's what we're doing. We're completely clearing the slate. We're starting new. I'm going to be doing the same thing. Will you react to the Classic WoW parody cover and song? I don't know what that is, so I don't want to react to it or watch it right now, okay? Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this, all right? Gotten beta, new wave. I don't know about there being a new wave, man. Let me just go ahead and double check. If there is a new wave, I'll look at the new posts on Classic WoW. Oh, check your beta. Just got in. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Yo, boys, check your shit. Check your shit right now. Let's see if we can get in. Who just got in? Who just got in? All right, let's go ahead and we'll watch the video, I guess. I mean, what the fuck else are we gonna do while we wait for the servers to come back up? So this is the tier 2.5, sorry, 0.5 gear. I never got any of this gear. This is like the heroism gear and you know, other stuff like that. Okay, guys, so yeah, make sure that you download Classic WoW, so by the time the servers actually come up, you'll be ready to come out and play.
Hey guys, what's up? Mad Season here, back with another episode in the
badass.
Azeroth Arsenal. This is a series where we take a look at some of the more interesting weapons and armor in the game's history.
Okay.
This one is a little different because the focus is on armor as opposed to the previous episodes, which were mainly weapons. In vanilla World of Warcraft, before raiding, you had the tier 0 dungeon set. This is the blue armor set for each class, and the pieces were scattered across many different dungeons in the game. It was the set to get pre-raids, and they were highly sought after.
I never completed
my Valor set. For druids, it was the Wild Heart. For hunters, the Beast Stalker. Mage, the Magister set. Paladins, the Lightforge armor. The Priest set was called Devout. Rogues had Shadowcraft. The Shaman had the Elements. Warlock the Dreadmist, and Warriors the Valor set.
Yep.
At first, it was quite rare to see someone with the full set, and it was almost a status symbol. Before people started raiding, even blue items were impressive, so it was like, whoa, this guy knows his stuff.
Yo, imagine getting impressed over a blue nowadays. And combining that with
the looks and the set bonus made them quite special.
I'll look at it at some point, right?
These sets would of course be later replaced by the superior Tier 1 set found in the Molten Core raid.
Of course.
And then that would be replaced by Tier 2, and so on.
Oh, dude, there it is.
But lost within the shuffle was something called the Tier 0.5 set, or the Dungeon Set 2 as it's called. This was sneaked in patch 1.10 in March of 2006.
Oh, that's whenever they added the weather
point,
effects.
The Temple of Ankh-Kiraj raid was already in the game, and that held tier 2.5, so raiders really had no interest in this revamped dungeon set. It was more aimed towards those who just stuck with 5-mans as their endgame, of which there were plenty because raiding back then was so time-consuming.
I don't think it was that hard, was it?
These sets were slightly better and modified versions of their originals.
Thank you.
The Wild Heart upgraded to Feral Heart, Beast Stalker to Beast Master, Magisters to Sorcerers, Lightforge to Soulforge, Devout to Virtuous, Shadowcraft to Dark Mantle, Elements to the Five Thunders, Dreadmist to Deathmist, and Valor to Heroism. In looks, they were just different color palettes for the most part,
they were better.
But in stats and rarity, they were superior to their blue counterparts. The quest chain that awarded them was the same for each class, but it was very long and expensive, and as a result, not a lot of people completed it, and in fact, if you mention these tier 0.5 sets to people today, most of them will have no clue what you're talking about.
I remember, like, whenever I saw how long it would take for me to get my tier 0.5 set, I was like, fuck it, I guess I'll just farm Grand Marshal instead. Like, I didn't want to waste my time. I thought it was a fucking waste of I thought it was just a complete waste of time. Like, why do I want to spend all day doing this piece of shit and getting this bad gear that's not even better than stuff in MC for me to do this? And I just got the MC, I just worked on the Grand Marshal gear instead. Thank you for finding out the new beta opt-in. Refresh my app. I was logged in. I saw the classic beta service offline. You're a beast. Keep on streaming, man. See you in game. The rule after, thank you very much, to $20. I appreciate that, man. Let's go ahead and it's a bug. You didn't actually get in. I really hope that's not the case. Just get rank 13. I got up to Knight Lieutenant, and then the 2.0 patch came out. Then I got the rest of my GM gear. Unfortunately, I didn't really grind enough. I just started too late into the game, and I didn't get enough time to do it.
So, I thought I'd cover the chain in its entirety and tell you about something that I think is a mystery to a lot of people. Mainly for entertainment, but who knows? If you decide to play the classic servers, maybe you can even use it as a guide.
Arsenal with the 5 gifted community subs. Thank you very much,
The main goal of it is to collect 3 fragments of an amulet and to break an ancient curse. This video will be from an Alliance perspective, but the chain is pretty much mirrored for the Horde. I'll list any minor differences in text, but other than that, the main differences are the turn and NPCs. So, for the Alliance, it all started from the NPC Deliana, located just outside the throne room in Ironforge.
It was expensive,
and Makvar, the treasurer for the Horde, who you could find in Thrall's throne room in Orgrimmar.
Fuck that, 100%.
They tell you that they have in their possession a powerful set of armor worn by your class, and they're willing to give it to you for a favor. So, because this chain upgrades your tier 0 to 0.5, you of course had to already own all of your tier 0 set, which consisted of 8 pieces.
What a waste of fucking time.
The belt, boots, gloves, pants, shoulders, chest, and head.
Easy.
Going with the Alliance chain, the first step is to upgrade the bracers. Deliana sends you to the Winter Spring Zone, located all the way on the other continent. Remember, this is vanilla, and the trap.
That's a real quest right there. You start in the town, you go to the other fucking continent. That's like a quest for Christopher Columbus. You think about that. It's the same damn thing. Actually, that's a really good way to look at it. So you feel like Christopher Columbus doing quests in vanilla WoW. Because you're going over to different continents, you have no fucking idea what's going on, and then you kill the people that are living there. And now the quests are just participation rewards. It's like track and field in 3rd grade. The only good thing about it is you don't actually have to do any work that day.
Traveling for these quests was legendary. And it was all on the ground, so there was a lot of walking.
Goddamn right there was.
You needed to get 15 blood samples from the wildlife here, and if you brought the blood back and give her 20 gold and your bracers, you get the upgraded bracers for the dungeon set too. Just 7 more to go.
I never did this
At this point, with this 20 gold investment,
yeah, right.
I do want to emphasize just how expensive it was to finish this whole chain. And it's the main reason why a lot of people skipped it.
What a waste of fucking money.
This 20 gold is just the beginning.
Oh my god.
And if you take into account that you're losing your original enchants, this chain is pretty pricey to finish. But with this, part 1 is done, and we have the bracers.
Fucking right.
For the next part, you need to talk to a dead person's ghost, and to do that, you need to visit a master engineer that specializes in the supernatural. You're sent to Muck's manuscript.
300 IQ idea for Blizzard. Next patch. Bring this quest line back, and just upgrade all the gear to level 120. Just upgrade all the gear. Like, I don't know why they don't do shit like this. Bring the entire quest line back, upgrade all the gear, make classic time walking weak, and have people be able to go back and get this gear. I would fucking love to see that. And I really wish that, like, Blizzard, like, those kinds of ideas, if they did a classic time walking, I would fucking love that. I don't know how they could make it good enough to meet people's expectations, though. That's the issue. Maybe they could do it like once a year. That's the only way I could think it working. I think it would work. And have Nax 40 out for the week. I still think that's a good idea, man. I don't care if everybody disagrees with me. I think it'd be fucking badass. Like, imagine that week, dude. Everybody would be on. Everybody would be playing. Holy shit. Everybody would be ready. People would be leveling up alts all year round just to do that one fucking week. And it would feel great.
Scrambler and Gadgetsan, and being a goblin, he of course wants money out of you.
And they'd allow Masterwood in there,
to progress to the next part,
just to make
you
it
need
a
to
little
give
bit more
him 40
exciting.
gold, which at this point was a lot back then.
Yep.
Most people had maybe 100-ish in their pockets. Everyone was broke. But that wasn't all. You also needed a bunch of trade materials, which also cost gold. And this is where most people said, you know, screw this. This is out of my price range, so I'll just stick with the old tier set. So, the total shopping list here was a delicate Arcanite converter, which was made by engineers, 4 greater eternal essences, which enchanters got from disenchanting high-level greens, 10 stone scale oil, which were made by alchemists, and 25 volcanic ash, which you had to get by yourself. You got this in the burning step zone on the ground, typically near lava pools, so it didn't cost anything.
Didn't you need blood
but it was a lot of travel, and 25 made it pretty time-consuming.
I forgot.
And in terms of travel, we're just getting started.
Nowadays?
Mux builds you a ghost trap, and for the next part, you need to use... And in terms of travel, we're...
Quick trivia. Who's that a statue of, guys? Who's that a statue of? Lothar. Good. Good.
Just getting started. Mux builds you a ghost trap, and for the next part, you need to use this trap and collect ectoplasm from all across the world. To use this trap, you needed something called goblin rocket fuel, and you're given 8 to start off, but if you used all of them before you collected all 36 essences, you had to buy more from an engineer.
Yep. Yeah, this is
you need 12 scorched ectoplasms from enemies in Silithus, 12 frozens from enemies in Winterspring, and 12 stables from enemies in the Eastern Plaguelands.
Okay.
Did I say that the traveling in vanilla was ridiculous yet? Anyways, you bring all of...
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't really, like, because you just go AFK. Like, you're AFK for like half the game. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, here's a good way for me to look at it. You know, whenever you're like 12, 13, and you just discover how great titties are, and anytime your mom literally goes down to the corner store, you're on the computer in like fucking record time looking up porn, like jacking off like so fucking fast, right? She goes to the grocery store. This is the best day of your life, all right? And you get to sit there on the computer for like a whole hour, right? And But by the time that you're like, you know, maybe like 24, 25, and you've already got your own place, you've got your own room, and you can just look at porn all day long if you want, it loses a little bit of its excitement to a certain extent because you're just doing it all the time. And it's kind of like Vanilla WoW. Vanilla WoW is blue-balling you because there are so many periods where like you're just fucking not doing anything. So you're just waiting for that one moment where you actually get to play your character. And in BFA, you're just always playing your character. So it's just like, okay, all right, let's go. Let's keep going. And I really think, like, I mean, like, this is a 200 IQ. Again, this is what I was talking about before, how Blizzard, it's like some kind of, like, just a fucking, a mastermind mistake that they've made with Vanilla WoW. I think that the genius of Vanilla WoW is that half of it wasn't even intentional. And even the devs said that. Kevin Jordan said, it's like, was this planned? Like, no. It just happened. I don't know. Like, I think that's just, it's the genius of unintended consequences. It's really fucking cool. Truly extraordinary, just like Smash Melee. Exactly. Just like Smash Melee.
The goo and the trap back to Mux and Tannerus, and he sends you back to the Burning Steppes to get the Magma Core from an Earth Elemental located inside the zone.
Okay.
Hey, why didn't you tell me to do this while I was getting the ash earlier? What an asshole. So, you returned the core,
remember this guy.
and you just need one more part.
Holy shit.
It's a Fel Elemental Rod, but the only problem is that you have to buy it from an imp merchant named Veal, and he's located in an elite-infested
we're probably
area
gonna need to
in the
go here to
southern
go over to
Winterspring
Hydro.
Zone, all the way north.
Asshole? That's a funny guy.
Luckily, though, he isn't super deep into the area,
this
and
place
he's in the
was
first
fucking
cave you
hard to
see
go
on the
to.
right-hand side. The rod
There it
also
is.
costs 40 gold, so it's pretty pricey.
Yep, 40
So
fucking
you buy
gold.
the rod,
Imagine
return it
wasting
to
all
Mux,
your money for that.
and he finishes the device and tells you to return it to Deliana in Ironforge if you're Alliance, or Makvar in Orgrimmar if you're Horde.
Of course.
As a reward for getting this far, for the next quest, you're asked to turn in your belt and gloves for the upgrade. And as a bonus,
least you get
the
2
gloves are
items.
actually an upgrade in rarity, your first purple piece of the set. But you're not satisfied with just 3 pieces. So you ask for the next task, and you're sent to the entrance of the Strathholm dungeon along with the ghost device. You're told to use this device near the entrance, and doing so will reveal the ghost of Anthean Harmon. From him, you need to obtain some information about a special amulet. He agrees to help you, but in return, you must do him a favor. You need to go inside the Strathholm dungeon and rescue someone called Ysida Harmon from the final boss of the undead side, Baron
I don't remember
Rivendare.
this at all.
So, this is our first official group quest in the chain.
I still
There's
don't
just
remember
one
this.
catch though. When you enter the dungeon, a 45-minute timer starts,
Wait, this is
and
what
this
the 45-minute
NPC is
timer
slain
was
at
for?
the end of it. Not only do you
Oh,
need
he
to clear through the
executes her
dungeon,
after the 40
but you also
okay.
had to do it pretty quickly and carefully so you don't
Wow.
wipe. But if you're successful,
Holy shit.
Ysida gave you her locket, which you returned to Anthean.
Okay.
You ask him information about a Draconid named Valthalak and a special medallion that he held.
Okay.
And he tells you that the medallion had Valthalak's soul stored inside, and that he took it and divided it amongst his friends.
God damn,
But
this is...
upon doing so, they unleashed a curse upon themselves that's still active, even in death.
That's actually so
He
fucking
says
cool.
that he gave the first piece to a dwarf named Theldrin, who is a gladiator for the Dark Iron Dwarves.
Okay.
So, you need to fight
This is
him
RPG
and get
stuff.
the
Yeah,
medallion
exactly.
back.
This is what we've
But
been
to
waiting
do
for.
so, you need a bunch of materials.
Fuck yeah.
You need 3 dark iron bars, which were made by miners, 20 enchanted leathers
farm
from
dark iron all
enchanters,
day.
3 mooncloth from tailors,
my main way of making
and
money.
4 cured rugged hides from leatherworkers. All pretty pricey trade goods, so the investment was really starting to pile up at this point.
Yep.
And what did you need all of this stuff for? A banner, of course.
It's incomplete.
Hey, you can't just fight the guy. You need this special banner.
You gotta
and
get him
it's
mad
not even
first.
finished yet. You need to take this incomplete banner to an NPC named Valorant Tree Shaper,
Okay.
located in the library of the Dire Maul dungeon, so, again, a group is needed to clear to this
Oh,
NPC.
Dire Maul.
And to follow
The
along
best
with the
place
scheme of
ever.
things,
Here
before
we
he'll
go.
help you, you need to do him a favor.
Oh, come on.
He asks you to kill ogres inside of Dire Maul and to bring them
Oh,
their
this
war
is
beads as
so
proof, 25 of them
convoluted.
total.
Wow.
And for this, you at least get an amulet as a reward, which is a nice little bonus. Upon completing this, Valoran will enchant the banner that'll somehow provoke Theldrin, but to...
My mom actually completed a lot of this quest back in Vanilla WoW, I'm pretty sure. Because she was never going to raid, and she never really did PvP. So she just completed this quest, just like all she did.
Do that, he needs more materials first. You need 4 dark runes, which are drops from enemies in the Skullomance dungeon. So for these, you either got a group, or you bought them off of the auction house since they weren't soulbound. You also needed 8 large brilliant shards, which enchanters got from disenchanting high-level blue items, and a quest item called the Jeering Spectre Essence, which dropped from ghosts located inside the Diremaul dungeon.
Of course.
So, lots of help required.
Of course.
This is a pretty elaborate way of challenging someone to a fight, don't you think? Anyways, you take this special banner to the arena located inside the Blackrock Depths instance to summon the secret Theldrin boss and his posse. And your goal, of course, is to take him down. He dropped some loot, some of which is unique in transmog, so to this day, people are looking for others with the banner still to get some rare transmogs.
I got that bow myself.
And he also dropped the first fragment of the amulet.
Yeah, service incompatible. We're waiting.
You returned this to Antheon, and he tells you that the only way to stop the curse is to put the amulet back together, so you need 2 more fragments.
Okay.
This is about the halfway point of the chain. Hey, I told you this was a long one. Not to tease you here, but I think for the sake of not making this video too long, we'll come back to this in part 2, so
dude.
I'll see you then.
Oh
to
my
be continued.
God.
Farewell for now, mortals. We hope you enjoyed today's video.
This shit would just take so goddamn long, man. Like, I really, I don't know, restart the client? Okay, let me restart client, and we'll see what happens, okay? Let's see if the servers are going to come up. Yeah, obviously, like, those chains were really, really long. Very, very time investment. Yeah, it still says incompatible, unfortunately. I'll try to log in. Let's see. It just says log in. So I'll go back to incompatible, and then we'll look at something else, okay? Watch yourself with the reaction at Tides of Vengeance 2 trailer. Reminds me of Dragon Slayer from RuneScape. Yeah, I know in RuneScape there's a ton of, like, really big quests, too. And so I think this is, like, one thing that WoW used to have a lot of, and nowadays they don't really have that much of, which is unfortunate. Random quest chain in Vanilla has better lore than BFA. Well, I mean, this is a main quest chain I guess, like, in Vanilla WoW. It was a big quest chain. But the point is, yeah, I do think they did a better job with the lore. And I think one of the reasons they did it is they wrote it with, like, more of, like, I don't know. It just seemed like it was more raw. And I think, like, if I had to describe, like, everything about it and, like, why I thought it was better, it would be kind of complex. But one of the reasons that I like it more is the fact that the player is not necessarily an actor in the story itself. They're more of, like, a secondary character that just moves the plot forward, which is actually what I prefer. And I don't like how the game narrative takes the player into consideration nowadays. I'm just not a fan of it. That's like an RP thing, okay? Like, so, okay, this is like, you know, all right, get on your robe and wizard hat and let's all listen to Asmongold talk about, you know, his character's narrative. But I just feel like it's important. And whenever there's a certain level of escapism. There's a spectrum of escapism that people have in video games. And I think that whenever you put the character in the storyline, unless that escapism matches with the storyline that you have in your head, then it's just completely, they run counter to each other. And I don't like that at all. Okay, homeless wizard, it's not like you're part of the world. Well, I don't think that the player should be considered as part of the world, except for just like a nameless adventurer or something like that, right? It's just like actors inside the game. Is the alpha server? Yeah, I don't know. It's just the way I feel, right? Where are you on the spectrum? So I am on the spectrum for this, and I would say that, like, there are people that do like hard RP and then soft RP. I think that in a lot of ways I kind of do soft RP in some ways where I kind of act a little bit different whenever I'm playing the game than I would in real life, right? But I'm not taking on the role as like, oh, I'm Asmongold that comes from Hillsbrad Foothills or something like that, or Winterspring. It's just like, it's a middle ground. That's the point that I'm trying to make. More videos? Yeah. All right, we'll look at this one here. This is a question that a lot of people have asked. Tips made this video. What's next? Classic TBC or patch 1.13? Everybody wonders, everybody asks, nobody agrees. Part 2? Actually, yeah, alright, let's just go part 2. Good point. Let's do part 2. The quest continues. It could. Oh, that shield. I used to have that shield. I never got the Arcanite Reaper, though. Because I could just get the Unstoppable Force, and I thought it was better.
Hey guys, what's up? Mad Season here, back with another episode in the Azeroth Arsenal. In the last episode of this series, I started covering the Tier 0.5 armor set, or the Dungeon Set 2, as some people call it. So, this video will be the conclusion of this chain. If you remember, we left off doing a bit of ghost hunting, we did a timed Strat home run, made a special banner, summoned a special boss in the Blackrock Depths instance, and got the first of 3 fragments of a medallion to break an ancient curse.
No,
we brought this medallion back to Antheon.
I'll finish this video and I'll restart.
He tells you to return to Deliana or Makvar, and that someone named Bodley is the only hope of finding the 2 remaining pieces. Returning to them allowed you to trade in 3 more pieces, the boots, which were purple, and the pants and shoulders. Just 2 more pieces to go, the head and chest. You're told to track down Bodley, who was last seen entering the Blackrock Spire in the Blackrock Mountain. So, you bring the Ghost Revealer with you, and use it to speak with his ghost, and he gives you the last 2 parts, the head, chest, and that's quest complete.
Farewell really for now, cool. Mortals. We hope you enjoyed today's video.
Nah, just kidding. You need to travel to the other side of the world to get an item called the Cinder of Cinders.
Yep, there you go.
This dropped from an NPC named the Duke of Cinders in the Silithus Zone.
Oh yeah,
but he's not just like any other NPC. You have to do a little ritual to summon him.
Yep.
You need to kill Twilight cultists within the zone until you obtain 3 pieces of their armor as a disguise. A cowl, a mantle, and the robe.
Yep.
Having all 3 gave you access to something called a Windstone, which allowed you to summon the Lord of Cinders. To do that though, you first needed a medallion called the Twilight Cultist Medallion of Station.
Like back in the day, like you didn't just fuck around to do this on accident.
You needed to complete a quest chain. And to start this chain, you needed to do some farming to reach the friendly reputation with the Cenarian Circle.
Yep.
Aw man, this is reminding me of the Burning Crusade attunement. Not getting into rep farming, once you do that, you talk to an NPC named Aurel Goldleaf in the Cenarian Hold in Silithus, and you needed to bring her 1 large brilliant shard and 3 items called Abyssal Crests. You got these Abyssal Crests by equipping that Twilight set you got earlier, and clicking on lesser Windstones located throughout the zone to summon an elemental, which dropped the crests.
This shit was actually really hard to do.
Turning in the materials gave you the medallion, which gave you a 1 in 4 chance upon clicking the Windstones of summoning the Duke of Cinders.
These are like 10-man
If you're lucky enough to summon them, you kill them, get the Cinder, and bring it back to...
Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think one of them was like one version of them was really hard.
Oh yeah, Bodley needed this. You know, you lose track after a while.
Yeah, you sure fucking do.
But he also needed 2 more items called the Incendicite of Incendius, which dropped from Lord Incendius, a boss in the Blackrock Depths. And he also needed the Ember of the Emberseer, which dropped from the Pyroguard Emberseer in the Upper Blackrock Spire.
You guys remember this? The boss, it would take like 8 minutes for the boss to finally spawn and slowly grow a little bit bigger, and then you'd kill him in 3 seconds and it wouldn't even matter. God, that was so fucking annoying.
Which was only opened with the Seal of Ascension, which you got from...
Another quest line.
I'm not going into that one again.
Yep.
And lastly, you also need an item called the Hallowed Brazier, which you could only buy from the Argent Dawn faction for 120 gold.
I never knew what that did.
Honored Reputation level or higher.
I had no fucking idea.
So, you bring all this stuff back to Bodley, and you'll give you 1 of 4 quests selected at random.
Yeah, sure. I'll give you guys the video link.
It'll be called the Components of Importance, and the possibilities are to retrieve a brilliant Sword of Zealotry, which is looted from the elite Scarlet Praetorians located in the elite Tier's Hand Zone in the Eastern Plaguelands.
Ooh,
Another
Tyr's
possibility
hand.
was to
Farm some
retrieve the soul
Crusader
ashes
orbs.
of the Banished, which you got from the undead located on the Purgation Isle, which could be found off the coast of the Hillsbrad foothill zone.
Yeah, those were also 60
Option
elites.
number 3 was
were
to
hard to
acquire
kill.
the druidical remains from the Silithid, located at Hive Regal in the southeast Silithus.
And those were elite too.
And
like all
number
these
4
mobs were
was
all
to
elite.
track down the Starbreeze
Goddamn.
Village relic, which you can find back at the Frost Whisper Gorge in southern Winterspring from the Frostmaw Giants there.
Also elite.
All 4 of these quests involved killing elite enemies, which were soloable with the right class and gear, but still, they were tough.
This shit was hard to do.
But whichever one you got, you brought back to Bodley, and he gave you the follow-up quest. If you got the Blade of Zealotry, your next goal is to take the brazier you put together earlier in the final boss room of the human side of Stratholme to summon 2 undead enemies named Jarian and Sathos.
I don't remember this at all.
You kill them and loot the left piece
Holy
of the
shit.
amulet. Or, in the previous part,
Damn.
if you got the soul ashes, you then head to the Skullomance dungeon into Ras Frost Whisper's room, which was near the end of the instance.
Wow.
And you use this brazier to summon an ogre named Cormac.
Dude, this is
If
so
you instead
fucking
got
crazy.
the Druidical Remains quest, the follow-up for that was to head to the War Master Voon's room in the lower Blackrock Spire
Think about how
to summon a
complex
Tauren
this
druid
shit is.
named Mor Greyhoof.
Like, I
And
don't know.
lastly, if you got the relic,
Okay,
you needed to go to
yes.
the Satyr, all's in the Wild Shaper's
We
room,
killed this guy
all
for
the way
transmog
in the
gear.
Daramal East dungeon.
Yep.
You kill him, and using the brazier, you summon the Night Elf, Isalian.
Yep, we had to kill her for the
So,
transmog.
of course, all 4 of these required a full group to summon and kill. And, just like Theldrin in the Blackrock Depths, they all dropped loot, and some are still sought after as transmogs to this day.
Yep.
Players who
got
completed
'em
this
all,
whole
boys.
chain and kept
We
a certain
got 'em
item
all.
can still summon a few of them, but since the chain was so long, hard, and expensive,
Most people
these
don't have the
people are
items anymore.
extremely rare to find.
Yeah, there's probably only like a dozen
Anyways,
of them left.
whichever scenario
Which is
you got,
insane.
you turned into Bodley, and that's 2 of
The
the 3
quests are not gonna
fragments.
be on release,
And
no.
for the next part, he asks you to gather some reagents to cast a spell to track down
Long
the 3rd
and hard.
fragment.
Just like
This
vanilla.
happens to be 20 blood kelp from Naga, located on the Alkaz Island in the Dustswallow Marsh Zone.
Oh, how convenient.
These Naga were all high-level elites,
Level
so they
62
were difficult,
elites.
but soloable,
Yep.
again with the right class and gear. And the next 2 parts are basically just repeats of the previous parts. You know the portion of the chain where there were 4 possibilities? Out of the remaining 3 scenarios, you'll get 1 randomly for the next 2 parts. So, the sword from Tyr's hand, the ashes from Purgation Isle, the druidical remains from Silithus, or the relic from Winterspring. And after that, you get one of those 4 quests to go into one of the dungeons to summon another boss. Doing
Mediocre
so
song
gave
about
you the
classic
final
beta?
piece of the amulet. The last
Really?
part required you to go into the raid,
Okay,
the
let me
Upper
look
Blackrock Spire, and kill the elite orcs there until you got 40 Blackrock bracers. And just in case you thought that you were home free in terms of gold, you also needed a flask of Supreme Power, which was a spell power flask for vanilla.
Oh my god.
It was of course made by alchemists.
I feel like you could just take all this gold and sell it for real money and buy enough shares of Blizzard to just get them to release Burning Crusade faster. This is insane. Think about how much fucking money you have to put into this quest, and it's just some random ass blue and epic gear. Like, I can't even believe it. This is so insane. Yeah, obviously people like, we have like a thing that automatically times out people that put like try hard whenever I say something that there's obviously a racist connotation to. My mods are gods, okay guys? We have those people under control. Yeah, there are no spurgs allowed in my stream. We're keeping them under wraps and under control.
And it was pretty expensive. You brought all of this back to Bodley. The next part was the finale. You needed to go back into the Upper Blackrock Spire
I don't remember this.
and summon Lord Valthalak himself.
Yeah, I
As
don't
I
remember
mentioned,
ever doing this
this
part.
guy was an elite Draconid, and you summoned him in the Beast's room, so once again, near the
Okay.
end of the raid. It was actually a pretty tough fight, involving
Really?
3 phases total where he drains life, summons
Shit.
adds, enrages, and
Damn.
throws out Shadow Bolt volleys. A worthy final
Goddamn.
boss to this insane quest chain.
That's actually pretty
If you were
fucking
successful
cool.
though, you used the completed amulet on his corpse to summon his spirit and he agrees to end the curse now that the amulet is returned. The next step is to return to Bodley, and he tells you to return to Deliana for the Alliance or Mokvar for the Horde, and they thank you by letting you trade in your Tier 0 chest and helmet for their Tier 0.5 counterparts.
I wish I could go back and do this quest right now.
He or she wishes you luck and hopes that this armor will protect you for a long time,
that's a great one.
Or until the next expansion, I guess. And that's it. That's the chain completed. You're a little older, a little more broke, but you have your new set.
Older, actually.
Maybe it didn't have better stats than the rating sets, but it was definitely more rare, and in its own way, more difficult to get. The true set for the non-rating player.
True.
Today, of course, thanks to the Cataclysm, the chain and thus the armor sets are now removed from the game, but you still can obtain both the Tier 0 and 0.5 as transmogs from the Darkmoon Fair if you'd like. They just exist for looks though, and they don't have any stats. Another bonus is that if you completed this chain, you got to keep the tools to summon any of the bosses anytime you want, in case you wanted some of their unique loot.
Oh!
Cormac from Scholomance,
so that's why
from the
people were able to
Blackrock Depths,
resummon it over and over.
Jarian and Sothos from Strathholm, Asalian from Dire Maul, more Greyhoof from the lower Blackrock Spire, and Valthalak from the upper Blackrock Spire.
We should go through
Today,
and kill all those mobs.
Due to the many dungeon re-releases, there's not a lot that you can actually summon still. Only Asalian, more Greyhoof, and Theldrin survived the revamps, and the rest are lost forever.
We've never killed the Druid before, but we killed
or
the
I guess until Classic servers release. But that's about it.
True.
If you watched this for entertainment, I hope you found it entertaining, and if you watched it as a guide, I hope you found it helpful. Like the video if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Azeroth Arsenal.
You know what's so badass? Is that people actually are going to be able to use that as a
Farewell for now, mortals.
They will.
We hope you enjoyed today's video.
It will be soon, too.
See you again soon.
Remember the Nagaholic exploration video, Vanilla by Dopefish brings you back all classic feelings? Yeah, I do remember watching that, man. Thank you very much, Magic Dave. I appreciate that. Too long, but probably worth skimming. Yeah, it's kind of a long video. I'm going to watch the FTH video after this.